Hey everyone, welcome back to Healing Not Healed. If this is your first time listening, I'm really glad you're here. And if you've been rocking with me since season one, thank you. Thank you for staying subscribed. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for not assuming the worst when I went quiet because I know it's been a while. 6 months. This episode is called Where Have I Been? Not because I owe anyone an explanation, but because healing requires honesty within self. Take a breath right here. Let your body settle. And let's go. I didn't disappear. I didn't quit. I didn't fall off. I paused. And pausing doesn't come naturally to me. I'm someone who pushes through. I'm someone who shows up even when it's hard. I'm someone who keeps going, sometimes past the point of wisdom. But there came a moment where I had to admit something to myself. I was still healing, but I was also still hiding certain things from myself. Not intentionally, not dishonestly, but subtly. Ask yourself quietly, what have I been managing instead of addressing? I was speaking healing publicly while privately tolerating patterns God had already highlighted. And eventually I realized I couldn't keep doing both. I couldn't keep showing up as a voice for healing if I wasn't willing to sit still long enough to let God finish working on me. So I paused. Not because I had nothing to say, but because God had more to show me than I could hear while I was talking. Let that land. We live in a culture that treats silence like something is wrong. If you're not posting, people assume you're struggling. If you're not producing, people assume you're inconsistent. If you're not visible, people assume you've lost momentum. But I don't know about y'all growing up, you know what they said about assuming. But sometimes silence isn't a sign of failure. Sometimes it's a sign of obedience. If you're in a quiet season right now, this is for you. I was tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, but the kind that comes from constantly pouring without replenishing. And God was very clear with me. Stop producing. Start processing. What has God asked you to stop pushing through? That meant sitting with emotions I had been intellectualizing instead of feeling. That meant revisiting lessons I thought I'd already passed. And silence forced me to confront myself without distraction. If anything, this season kept bringing me back to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. We love this verse when it validates change, but we struggle with it when the season doesn't look productive. Because we love growth seasons, but pruning seasons, waiting seasons, quiet seasons, that makes us uncomfortable. Which season are you fighting instead of trusting? God didn't pause me to punish me, even though it felt like punishment for being alone for a while. And preparation rarely feels productive. It feels slow. It feels lonely. If you feel unseen right now, God still sees you. One of the hardest truths I had to accept was this that I've been saying since season one. Healing is not linear. I didn't know that. I said it sounded good. I knew what it meant, but I didn't really realize what that brought. Sometimes healing looks like awareness. Sometimes it looks like responding differently. Sometimes it looks like realizing sooner. Progress does not always feel powerful. Sometimes God allows you to revisit a lesson, not because you failed, but because He's deepening your discernment. And I had to release the pressure to be over it. Cue Summer Walker. Give yourself permission to still be learning. Why this season feels different is because I'm different. This season is slower, but it's more intentional. So I won't just be pumping out episode after episode after episode. I'm allowing God to work in my life. This season feels more grounded, more faith forward. You'll hear more scripture, more obedience, more honesty. This season isn't about being healed. It's about being willing. If you've been feeling guilty for needing time, if you've been beating yourself up for pausing, please hear me clearly. You're not behind. You're not failing. you're not disqualified. Sometimes God pulls us back so he can send us forward correctly. So this is where I've been, learning, unlearning, healing still. Thank you for meeting me here. Season 2 of Healing Not Healed starts now. We're not healed, but we're healing, and that's enough.